You can start, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you for giving this opportunity, Prabhu, to read today's Bhagavatam translations. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances to all the devotees joined in this Zoom meeting. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udarayet नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे. Today we are reading the translations from Canto 6, chapter 18, Diti vows to killing Indra, from 46 to 56. So what's number 46? Diti replied, "My dear Brahmana, I must accept your advice and follow the vow. Now let me understand what I have to do, what is forbidden and what will not break the vow. Please clearly state all this to me." Sloka 47. Kashyapa Muni said, "My dear wife, to follow this vow, do not be violent or cause harm to anyone. Do not curse anyone and do not speak lies. Do not cut your nails and hair and do not touch impure things like skulls and bones." Text 48. Kashyap Muni continued, "My dear gentle wife, never enter the water while bathing. Never be angry and do not even speak or associate with wicked people. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed and do not put on a garland that has already been worn." Sloka 49. Never eat leftover food. Never eat prasada offered to goddess Kali, Durga. And do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not eat anything brought or touched by a Sudra, nor anything seen by a woman in her menstrual cycle. Do not drink water by joining your palms. Sloka 50. After eating, you should not go out to the street without having washed your mouth, hands, and feet. You should not go out in the evening or with your hair loose, nor should you go out unless you have properly decorated with ornaments. You should not leave the house unless you are very grave and are sufficiently covered. Sloka 51. You should not lie down without having washed both of your feet or without being purified, nor with wet feet or with your head pointed west or north directions. You should not lie naked or with other women or during the sunrise or sunset. Text 52. Putting on washed clothes, being always pure and being adorned with turmeric, sandalwood pulp and other auspicious items. Before breakfast, one should worship the cows, the brahmanas, the goddess of fortune and supreme personality of Godhead. Sloka 53. With the flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, ornaments, and other paraphernalia, a woman following this vow should worship women who have sons and whose husbands are living. The pregnant wife should worship her husband and offer him prayers. She should meditate upon him, thinking that he is situated in her womb. Sloka 54. Kashyap Muni continued, if you perform this ceremony called Pumsavana, adhering to the O with faith, for at least 1 year, you will give birth to a son destined to kill Indra. But if there is any discrepancy in the discharge of this oath, the son will be friend to Indra. Sloka 55. O King Parikshit, Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, agreed to undergo the purificatory process known as Pumsavana. Yes, she said, I shall do everything according to your instructions. With, with great jubilation, she became pregnant, having taken semen from Kashyapa and faithfully began discharging the oath. Sloka 56. O king, who are respectable to everyone, Indra understood Diti's purpose, and thus he contributed to fulfill his own interests. Following the logic that self preservation is the first law of nature, he wanted to break Diti's promise. Thus, he engaged himself in the service of Diti, his aunt, who was residing in an ashrama. I think today we end the sloka till 56.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Kiran Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Krishna. Yeah, whenever you're ready, Krishna Prabhu, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving this opportunity to purify myself and for the pleasure of all the devotees. So we start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschaptadeshatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Kiran Prabhuji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section translations. So thank you all for joining today's Bhagavatam session. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 18, Diti vows to kill King Indra, and slokas from 46 to 56. Just to give a background. So in the earlier chapters, we heard about the wonderful narration of the divine demon Vritrasura and his previous life Chitraketu Maharaj. And so in this chapter, so this another section. So in this chapter so far we heard the relation of Twasta and his descendant. So Sukadeva Goswami started narrating the descriptions of the Adityas, or the sons of Aditi, and other demigods. We had many great personalities in that lineage. So demigod Chandra appeared, and also Agastya and Vasishtha Mahamuni. They were the sons of Varuna and Mitra. So, and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared as Vamana Deva. So like that, so many great personalities appearing in that dynasty we heard. Then Sukadeva Goswami also narrated the dynasty of Diti, the demons or Daityas. And in that dynasty we heard Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They were the first sons of Diti. And we heard the Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Vishnu, and also Hiranyakashipu also killed by Lord Vishnu. But Hiranyakashipu had a wonderful son called Virochana, and from Virochana, Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj's son is Virochana, and then Bali Maharaj appeared. So, and we also heard about Banasura appearing in this dynasty. And as we heard, like to help Indra, so Lord Vishnu killed both Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the sons of Diti. So because of that, Diti was morose and she became envious, and she developed angerness towards Indra. So she wanted to have a son who can kill Indra. So for that purpose, so she enchanted Kashyapa Muni in order to beg from him a greater son. greater son who can kill Indra. So of course, she was successful in that, and Kashyap Muni was attracted to his beautiful wife Diti, and then he promised to grant her any request. And later, when she revealed that she wanted to have a son who can kill Indra, then he condemned himself. Uh, but since he's a great personality, so he advised his wife Diti to follow this Pumsana Vrata, the Vaishnava ritualistic ceremony, so that she can be purified herself, going through that process. So we'll go through the slokas 46 to 56 about how this vrata should be done, all those rules and regulations. So Diti here replied that, so my dear Brahmana, I must accept your advice as and follow the vow. Let me understand what I have to do and what is forbidden and what will not break the vow. So please clarify, clearly state all this to me. So, and Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that here the Mother Diti's intention is to get a son who can kill Indra. So that is her desire. So, and Kashyap Muni proposed a 1 year vrata, Satamsana vrata, so that she can get a son who can kill Indra. And since she is looking for a son eagerly who can kill Indra, so she immediately agreed, saying that, yes, sure, I will do this vrata or vow, follow the vow, and I promise that whatever the things that are needed to complete this vrata, I will do it, and I will not break the vow. So, and Prabhupada mentions that this is the woman's psychology. So they are very simple in the heart. So when a woman, she wants to fulfill her own plans, of course, it's also applicable for everyone in this material world. Most of them who are looking for some material desires to be fulfilled, but especially since woman is very simple-hearted and very innocent, so she to fulfill her own plan. So when somebody proposes a process or approach, then she will follow it. Especially when her husband gives guidance and gives a process who is exalted, so she will immediately or innocently follow it. So that's what Prabhupada mentions that. So if the husband is a very nice devotee, then she can train the wife to be a great devotee. So that is the great quality of a woman, where she can follow the instructions of the husband very sincerely and seriously, if the husband is directing her very nicely. And in the next sloka, Kashyap Muni is giving the the process or the rules and regulations about this Pumsyana Vrata. So he's saying that here, to follow this vow, so he's giving, do not be violent, cause harm to anyone, do not curse anyone, do not speak lies. So all these rules and regulations. Because Kashyap Muni, she wanted to train her wife, his wife, to be a Krishna conscious person, so that she can get rid of the anarthas, can be protected from the anarthas like envious nature or anger, which right now she has towards Indra. So he's sure that through this process, so this angerness or envious nature would go away if she follows it. And in that way, so Indra also will be saved. Not only she will be saved from the anarthas, but also Indra will be saved from the apparent killing from the upcoming sunlight there. So the first training that Kashyap Muni is trying to give is to make her non-envious towards Indra, because now she is very envious towards Indra. So that's why he is giving this instruction, Himsaya Dhuta Jatani. So do not be violent or curse to anyone. So or do not speak lies, like that. Because the general tendency in this material world is to be envious of others. So of course, this is the one of the reason that a living entity falls down from the spiritual world to the material world. So as soon as we become envious of Supreme Lord Krishna, because he is the center of all the activities in the spiritual world. So when one becomes envious, and at the same time, when one wants to be wants to enjoy independent of Krishna, then Krishna mercifully he gives this opportunity. So and he will send us to this material world. So to fulfill our desires. And we thought, or we are hoping to be happy in this material world. So to enjoying independent of Krishna. But since we are part and parcel of Krishna, so we can only be happy when we are with Krishna. So now we are away from Krishna. That's why in this material world, everyone goes through the suffering. So, but if we want to be happy, then we have to join back with Krishna. So, which means that we have to get rid of this envious nature. And Krishna also mentions in the Bhagavad Gita that if we continue to be envious of Krishna, then we can't understand what's Krishna's teachings. So, whatever the teachings that he is giving in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam from through the scriptures, we cannot understand. So that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that since you are not envious, anusuya ve, so idam te tu gishyatamam pravakshyami anasuya, like because you are not envious of me, so you will be able to understand this most confidential knowledge, so which will help us want to realize. And Krishna also mentions that people who are envious, so that's one of the category apart from the mischievous, lowest among men, like tanaham disitaha, like envious people. So they will be put into the in this ocean of material existence, and they will go through the various demonic species of life. So they'll continue to suffer. So one, we don't understand the spiritual knowledge if we are envious of Krishna, and apart from that, we'll continue to go through this miserable material life and life after life, and that too through the demonic species of life. So that's why we have to be very cautious with our anarthas, and try to get rid of as best as we can. Of course, not only towards Krishna being envious, even if we are envious to anyone, so directly we are indirectly we are envious of Krishna, because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So if we are envying someone, so which means that we are envious of Krishna's children. And even if why we will be envious for others, because when they are in when they have something that we don't have it, like whether they have a great wealth, or they acquired a great name and fame due to the activities that they have done, or they're very beautiful, or they have acquired great knowledge. So those kind of things, like so, and those are all given by Krishna only, because due to their past activities, or they surrender to Krishna. So they have those are all given by Krishna. So if we are envious of other people because they have all those things, then we are not appreciating Krishna's decision or his setup. So as long as we are having that kind of nature, or that envious nature towards Krishna or anyone, then we'll continue to go through the miserable life in this material world. So it will become very challengeable to go back home, back to God. So as a trying to be a devotee, so or practicing a devotee, I'm talking to myself. So we should try as best as we can to get rid of this envious nature. So instead of envying the other devotees, we should look. We should be very happy when they are glorified, or when they have when they are getting name and fame, or any other great qualities. So we should cultivate appreciating them, or looking their good qualities. So in that way, so if we are looking the good qualities in them, then obviously, so our tendency to be envious towards those people will slowly go away. So that is the thought process here of Kashyap Muni recommending this Vaishnava ritualistic ceremony, so that it will remove the anarthas from the mother Diti. So that is the great potency and power of the Bhakti Yoga. So like, Dhruva Maharaj was also recommended by Narada Muni to perform this Bhakti Yoga, so that his angerness towards his stepmother, Suruchi, so that will go away. And that happened, like, when he performed this Bhakti Yoga, so all the good qualities rises. So when one performs the Bhakti Yoga, so the process of Krishna consciousness, then all the good qualities will rise. So that's what mentions in Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate suraha. Like, so when one does the bhakti yoga, or when one progress in the path of bhakti, in this Krishna consciousness, then all the godly qualities will rise. So then our anarthas will slowly go away, like either kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matcharyam. So those things will go away. If not, haro abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratene sati dhavato bahi. Like, if we are not in the process of bhakti yoga, so if we are following any other processes, or even if we are performing our material activities with great endeavor and as best as honesty, like that, to maintain our family life and all those things, still those good qualities will not rise as much as we see in the devotee's life. So that's why it's very important. So for us to progress in the path of bhakti, practice this Krishna consciousness as best as we can. Of course, I'm talking to myself. So Kashyapani is continuing here. So the other rules and regulations, so never enter the water while bathing. Napusnaneyan, like that. And nakuputya, never be angry. So of course, so one should not be angry. So this is the one of the thing that one should control, because this is the one of the door to the hellish planet. So Trividam Narakasya area, like there are 3 doors to the hell. So Kama, Krodha, Lobha, like one of them is anger, last anger, greed. So as a practicing devotee, one should try as best as we can to get rid of this angerness nature. So this is also helpful to lead a peaceful, even the materialistic life also. If to lead a peaceful life, one should control their anger. So because if one is anger, Krishna mentions that so they will lose the intelligence. So they will lose the what kind of decisions they have to take, because their intelligence is lost. Then the decisions that they are going to take may not be appropriate or accurate. So that's why we should be very cautious. And then Kashyap Muni is mentioning many other things, like not even speak or associate with wicked people. So this is very important. So we hear in the scriptures time to time stressing this point, not to associate with the people who are very wicked, or the sinful people, or materialistic people. Instead, associate with the devotees. So when we associate with the devotees, so we get inspired to progress in the path of bhakti, then we go back to Godhead. If not, if we associate with the people who are very materialistic, then Lord Rishabhadeva mentions in Bhagavatam, Tamodwaram Yositam Sangi Sangam. Like, when we associate with the wicked people, then the door to the hell is widely open. So, so that's why it's very important to, because it is stressed many times in the scriptures, to associate with the devotees. So where we can come back to Godhead, or while we are in this material world also, we can lead the peaceful life, and then continue our bhakti very nicely. So then many other instructions he has given, like wear clothes that do not wear clothes that are not properly washed, and do not put on a garland that has already been worn, like that. So these are the rules and regulations for the Pumsana Vrata, so that one can get purified. And continuing that, so not to eat leftover food, never eat prasada offered to the goddess Kali. So Chandika Anamcha, like that. Because the thought process here, Kashyap Muni mentioning not to eat the prasada that is offered to the goddess Kali, because Prabhupada mentions in the purport that generally in this material world, the people who are the worshippers of Mother Durga, so they offer to Mother Durga as a bhoga, which contains the meat or fish or like eggs or like that. So that's why here Kashyap Muni is saying that do not eat that prasada that is offered to the goddess Kali, because that will contain mostly meat and fish. And if one wants to be purified, so one of the regulation is do not eat meat. So that's why Kashyap Muni is strictly forbidding here his wife not to take the that kind of food. Of course, Vaishnavas are practicing devotees, they're always fixed in accepting prasada that is offered to Lord Vishnu. And Prabhupada, Kashyapani is here mentioning that do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. So do not eat anything that is contaminated by meat. So one of the regulations that Prabhupada gave is not to eat meat. Of course, this is one of the pillar of dharma. So dharma has 4 pillars: tapam, saucham, daya, satyam. So when we follow the rule of or regulation of not to eat meat, so we are at least protecting the pillar of daya. And then here Kashyapani is mentioning that do not eat anything brought or touched by a Sudra, or not anything seen by a woman in her menstrual period, or do not drink water by joining your palms, like that. So these are all regulations that helps us want to be to develop the cleanliness. Like in the case of like do not drink water by joining your palms. So it is mentioned that Prabhupada mentions that so generally most of the times our palms might have some dirt or some dust like that, which we may not probably see it. When we drink the water through our palms, then it is possible that we are drinking the unclean water. So that's why it is recommended to drink a water with a clean glass. Of course, in the modern society, so many of these rules and regulations may not be possible to follow or are difficult to follow, but the approach is so we follow as best as we can, whatever we can, all these wonderful rules and regulations. But most important is for this Kali Yuga is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in this way, we can be purified. And also, as best as we follow these all good habits. So on the text 50, Kashyapani is mentioning that after eating, you should not go out to the street without having washed your clothes, without having washed your mouth, hands, and feet. And you should not go out in the evening with your hair loose, nor should you go out unless you are properly decorated with ornaments. Not leave house unless you are very grave and are sufficiently covered. Of course, Prabhupada mentions in the purport that this is the Vedic civilization. So in the Vedic civilization, when a woman is going out on the street, so generally they cover fully so that other mans will not recognize her. So these are all the methods for the purpose of purification. Of course, for chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra in this Kali Yuga, there are no hard and fast rules. So one can chant at any time, at anywhere. So this will purify our heart and it will clean all our anarthas from our heart, like that. In the text 51, the regulations continues: should not lie down without having washed both of your feet, or without being purified, nor with wet feet, or with your head pointed to west or north. Not lie naked or with other women, or during the sunrise or sunset. So these are further instructions of Kashyapani about this vrata. And then text 52, so the regulations and rules are continuing. So putting on washed clothing and being always pure, and being adorned with turmeric, sandalwood pulp, other auspicious items. And before breakfast, one should worship the cows, brahmanas, and the goddess of fortune, and the supreme person of Godhead. So this is also very important, and this is also the process of Vedic civilization. So where one will be trained from the childhood to worship cows and brahmanas. So the cow protection helps because cows gives milk to us. Through that milk, we can prepare various food items and we can survive on that. And also the cow's milk will help the brain tissues to be sharp so that our intelligence will increase, so that we can be able to understand this spiritual knowledge. So instead of killing cows, which is happening in this Kali Yuga, in the modern society, instead of that, protect the cows and take the milk and prepare various milk related products and live happily, and also increase our knowledge. And the most important is to worship the Supreme Lord. So before the breakfast, so and that's why the scriptures recommends to wake up early and then chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So this is the process of worshipping Krishna in this Kali Yuga. So even if we have material desires, so if we continue to worship Krishna, so those things will be purified, not only fulfilled, but we will not. It will be purified so that we will not required to request Krishna again and again those material desires. Akama, sarva kama, moksha kama. So tivrena bhakti yogena. So even if we have some material desires or no desires or desire for liberation, so if we worship Krishna, so then we will become purified. And if we have material desires, then they will go away. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he prayed for the greater kingdom than Lord Brahma. And once he went through the process of Bhakti Yoga, so then his desire to have that greater kingdom went away. And he was very happy to see the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So with the darshan of Supreme Lord Vishnu, he was very happy and he doesn't want anything like that. So this process is very important. So it will help us to be purified from even from the material desires. So our hankering towards the material things. And then text 53, so Kashyap Muni is further mentioning that with flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, ornaments, and other paraphernalia, a woman following this vow should worship women who have sons and whose husbands are living. If the woman is pregnant wife, she should worship her husband and offer him prayers, and she should meditate upon him, thinking that he is situated in her home. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the child in the womb of the mother or the man wife is part of the husband's body. So therefore the husband through his representative as a child indirectly is staying in the womb of his pregnant wife. So that's why here it is recommended the pregnant wife should meditate upon him, thinking that he is situated in her home, because the child is the representative of the husband. And in the sloka 54, Kashyap Muni is continuing that if you perform the ceremony called Pumsavana, adhering to the vow with faith at least 1 year, then you will give birth to a son destined to kill Indra. But if there is a discrepancy in the discharge of this vow, the son will be a friend to Indra. So Kashyap Muni had a strong faith that if anyone goes through the process of Bhakti Yoga for some time, so here it's 1 year, then their anarthas will be purified. And they will, not only the anarthas will be purified, they derive greater happiness and peaceful life than compared to the earlier life. So, and then they will continue the process voluntarily because they see the good life after the following the process. So that's why, when the devotees also request to help others, other condition living entities who are suffering in this material world, so we'll give the chanting beads and request them to chant at least for 6 months like that. So they have the strong faith that so once they chant for 6 months, then others will be reduced, and then they will feel the good quality of life, and they understand the value of this process, and they will continue later. So that's the potency of this Bhakti Yoga. And in the text 55 and 56, the last slokas for this section today. And Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning to Parikshit Maharaj that Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, she agreed to undergo this purificatory process because she is eagerly looking for a son who can kill Andhra. So that's why she said that she will do everything according to your instructions. So Kashyap Muni's instructions. So with great jubilation, she became pregnant, having taken semen from wise Kashyapa, and faithfully started going through this process. And at the same time, we see here that so Indra, understanding Diti's purpose, so to fulfill his own interest, so following the logic that self-preservation is the first law of nature, So he wanted to break the Diti's promise so that he can be saved. So for that, he engaged himself in the service of Diti, who was residing in Ashrama. So here we see that Indra serving his aunt or mother Diti is not selfless. So he has a self agenda. Kavihi, seeing his own interest. So he wanted to be with mother Diti and look for a good opportunity so that he can break this vow or vrata, so that that son who is going to come out from mother Diti's womb will not kill him like that. So generally this is the tendency in the material world, that when somebody is coming towards you to serve, like who are not in the process of spirituality, so who are in the materialistic mind, so when they serve or when they glorify you or when they speak something, so they may have some self agenda. In some cases they will have some agenda, self motive in their mind, and they'll come and do the like that. So these are all the instructions that Kashyap Muni gave for this Pumsana Vrata, and requested or advised Mother Diti to do this process for 1 year, hoping that she will be purified from Anadas, and she will get rid of this envious and angerness towards Lord Indra. So I'll pause it here. Those are the few points that I want to share. Thank you all for joining. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Amrita Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank
Hare
you, Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.